Mandelbrot's in heaven, at least he will be when he's dead. Right now he's still alive and teaching math at Yale. Chaos, he brought us hope when there was none. His geometry succeeds where others fail. Welcome, Internet, to my living room, where we're serenading you with a little bit of Jonathan Colton's Mandelbrot set. Hey, Okami, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. It's a little bit later where you are than here, but we're going to get started on the thighs, on my big old thunder thighs, is what we're going to get going on. Oh, would you do that again? So, my apologies. I am in a rough way. I dug a trench yesterday. I dug several trenches yesterday. Put down pipe and filled them up. And so, yeah. Thank you, darling. You're the best. Around. Gonna ever keep you down. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to get right into it. Now, today, of course, it's actually 1:45 a.m. Well, good thing it's a Sunday, Okami, so that you don't have to be up too early tomorrow, I hope. So, this is the pattern that you may or may not recall. Last time we kind of came up with this pattern based off of the general design of the thing. Nice! Congrats, Okami. Congrats, especially after that win at the away game. Good on you, mate. Things are going well for you. So last time we had this. We worked out the general formula, and of course we know we're going to be adding an additional piece here. But we figured out that it would, in general, kind of jive with what we had already made with the cod piece, and so now we're going to actually put it together. Now I picked up these mats. It's 12 square feet, which is the same square footage as the interlocking mats. However, these are only 5/16 of an inch thick, rather than a full half of an inch thick, which will be a lot better for the inside of the leg, for the thigh. But I'm not quite ready to cut into that with this pattern yet. So first we're going to go ahead and we're going to make it out of the thicker foam and make sure that we don't need to make any changes to the pattern itself. And then we're going to cut into this thinner foam and make it out of that. Upsides and downsides, of course, this is nice because it's, number one, it's already rolled, even though we're going to have to roll it the opposite direction, which is fine. We'll just use the heat gun and do it like we've always done it. Additionally, because it's because it's thinner, we'll be able to get that just done easier, faster, better, however you want to say it. It'll be just easier, plain and simple, to make that do the curvature that we want without getting in the way. But with no more interruptions, and of course with me mentioning that we have a schedule, because Halloween is coming up and I've got to get this thing finished in time. So that being the case, we'll go ahead, cue the music, and let's get started, shall we? Oh, you know what? I think I might have an already open piece, so I'm gonna grab an already open container of these and start cutting on that. 2 shakes. You know what? Never mind. It is too much bother to fish all of that out. So I'm just going to grab the stuff and get it. Let's see. Realone27. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoy what you're seeing. You're more than welcome to lurk. You don't have to chat. However, if you do want to chat, say hello, talk about stuff, ask questions, feel free to. Feel free to do so. While I do, of course, welcome lurkers, I do have a preference for interaction. I kind of feel like, in a lot of ways, that's the point of doing stuff on Twitch. If I didn't want to talk to and learn from, as well as to do things with other people, I'd just do it by myself, you know? So yeah, if you feel the same way, cool. If you don't at all feel the same way, you're more than welcome to. But just so that you know, I thoroughly welcome any and all interaction. Alright, so now there is a small change I wanted to make to this. I'll actually just throw my leg up on here. Forgive the blindingness. I actually come from, oh, what am I doing? That's my shin, not my thigh. Here we go. So I actually come from farm folk, from farming stock, if you will. And as such, I only, on super rare occasions, ever wear shorts. Basically, if I'm swimming. That's it. How was my week? Well, it had some interesting aspects to it. You of course knew Okami that my phone broke. I got a new one, and it currently is kind of getting itself set up, more or less. It's a new to me, even though it is, you know, a little on the older side. This week was incredibly busy. Business is going quite well, and as such, there are a lot of things that I, you know, was working on this week. Yeah, it's not quite gonna do it. There were a lot of things that I was working on. Among other things, I mentioned that I was really sore from having dug a trench, and yeah, that was part of the festivities this week. Business is going well, enough so that we decided to build, to expand. That could have been better. Oh well. I'll know to round it off a skosh. But that has been taking up a lot of time. Yeah, you can kind of see. This is why I prefer to have patterns better than just my freehanding. I'm not all that good. I'm also not all that artistic, believe it or not. This is, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants when it comes to this. But yeah, aside from ridiculously tiring my week, it's been pretty normal. How about yours, Okami? How has your week been? And you know, one of these days, I would love to hear some more information about your username. Usernames often have a fun story behind them. Why somebody goes with that name, and so on. Glad it's going good. And you always wear pants too. Yeah, it is just the way things are done. I mean, pants, oh man, I should have folded this over in the first place. You see, there are a lot of very obvious things that I miss. very obvious, and I'm sure it's painful for some people to view what I do, but yeah. Yeah. So it is going better. Things like the new phone definitely make a difference. Yeah. I need to update that. Come on. Do the thing. Julie, do the thing! Okay, good. It's already updating. And now we'll just leave that to it. But in case anybody hasn't already seen, this is what happened to the old phone. Let's see if I can't get it at the right position here. You know, I think it might be a little bit too dark, but rest assured, it was pretty bad. The break. Yeah, that's about right. But yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, like for example, my neighbor. He's always wearing shorts. And I can understand that. He's a larger man. And so pants, you know, it's very easy for him to become, you know, overheated, I suppose is a way to put it. But you know, for my part, not only am I a man of small stature, it's got a new girlfriend, 2 games this week were wins, so yeah. That does sound like the makings of a good week, Okami. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. But yeah, so for those of you who are new to the stream, we are simultaneously streaming to both YouTube, as well as here on Twitch. Yeah, I scared away Realone. Apparently it didn't want to talk, but that's alright. But yeah, so for those of you who are lurking on YouTube, half of the point of streaming to YouTube as well is that YouTube has a significantly better better system for keeping videos on, you know, keeping archived footage. And that's one of the things that Twitch really needs to get better about, is that archived footage. Someday maybe they will, but it is not this day. And so by streaming simultaneously to both YouTube and Twitch, it's most of the time I get a lurker or two on YouTube. There we go. Get a lurker or two on YouTube. Most of the time, people on Twitch come around. And that's and fun, and good, and awesome. Gives me a chance to talk to people. But I do have the chat up on the Twitch chat up on the screen being captured. Currently, the YouTube chat is not as high of a priority because of very few people on the YouTube chat. And yeah, so maybe if we get a few more people on YouTube, I'll start capturing that chat as well. It's also not quite as convenient as capturing the Twitch chat. But yeah, so if people on Twitch, you see me responding to a comment that you can't see, just know that it's because it's somebody on YouTube talking. So yeah. Now, additionally, because I'm putting this on YouTube and I don't want any sort of copyright strikes to make this, to make the music unavailable to some people, because often you'll see this is unavailable in your country due to a copyright claim by so-and-so, and I really don't want that because I want this in a lot of ways, I want what I'm doing to be reachable for people to be able to get their hands on the video and learn how to do this kind of stuff for themselves. Because of that, it's very important to me that even though the music gets a little bit repetitive, because I don't have the best non-copyrighted, no copyright music. Interesting. Don't know why I did it like that, but we'll try it. We'll see how it works. Nonetheless, it's the best option to make sure that the video, the instructions, the ideas are never hampered by a copyright strike. So yeah. Okay, so let me catch up with you, Okami. Okay. Let me catch up with you. Yeah, and as for my username, I'm of Hispanic descent, and I know English, Japanese, German, and Spanish, so I like the name Golden Wolf, and I mixed Spanish and Japanese, and Okami Dorado was born. Hey, that does make sense. Very cool, Okami. Sadly, I don't have anything quite as interesting to say. I do speak rudimentary amounts of basic German. I do also have, oh gosh, I'm basically just your average sort of mutt from, English mutt, where most of my descendants come from, from England and that region. Now, naturally, my last name, Mac, it's one of those things where it's like I've got some strong roots in Ireland and Scotland, but I also have a last name that people, when they jumped from Ireland, between Ireland and Scotland, they kept changing their name, which is why there are many different variations on my last name, and many of which are sort of tangentially or distantly related, but not much beside that. It's not like we have family reunions or anything like that going on. And yeah, it is one of those things where I kind of both have a descendant culture, or, a culture that I'm descended from, but at the same time I don't. It's, it's interesting. But all of the exposure that I have to basically other cultures aside from American, and aside from some lingering roots from my grandfather, who's now since passed, the only thing I really get from him is Boyo, and a few other things. Not much with you. Just having a bat cave, sort of an hour to it. So you could say that Grandpa was the type of man who would speak a little bit like this, but yeah, that's about all that comprises that, the cultural identity of my life. Everything else is just sort of, I'm American. Nothing really more to be said about that. So I do really, I am both fascinated and love love when somebody else has a rich background filled with other cultural identities, other things that they can draw on. So, even though it's not me, and it'll never be me, it is still something I both respect and admire. So, yeah, thanks for sharing the username, the origin of your username. I've already shared mine, so I won't pester you with the story again. Oh, man. I love this little sharpener. Did I tell you about this sharpener? In case I didn't, I went to Walmart and I purchased it. And it's just a ceramic fine sharpener because, of course, I've got this. I need the fine adjustment after it gets a little dull after being, passed through some of this foam. That is kind of cool, though. And yeah, just that little bit of sharpening on that goes a long way, a heck of a long way, as a matter of fact. So Okami, I think it's going to be basically just you and I for the night. I had hoped on streaming earlier today, but stuff got in the way. And then I had considered streaming this afternoon, and then stuff got in the way. Basically, just been a busy day. Hey, Passer, how's it going? And no sooner did I speak that I was just proven to be wrong by Passer. Welcome, Passer. Good to see you. Yes, she needs a piece of them action. Here we go. But it's good to see you, Passer. Uh-oh. It looks like, for whatever reason, this zonked out. Okay. Okay, everything looks to be alright. And we're dropping again. Okay, well that's good to hear. Okay, well good. Well then I'll carry on. Because what I did see is I seem to have some issues on my side with dropped frames. I mean, I dropped several thousand frames for a bit. YouTube told me that it had stopped, that the stream had stopped. And, well, Twitch still read that it was live, but it was still, it was a little weird. But oh well, let's keep on going. I was very sad for a minute there because I'm like, oh man, wouldn't you know it? Just as soon as I got my stuff together and started streaming, everything goes to heck in a handbasket. But I'm thrilled that it's still going for you guys, so let's keep it rolling. Here we go. Now, I know for a fact that I'm going to have to make some adjustments to this side, but this is, again, good. This is, again, why we're making it. We're making a test piece, and then we're going to try fitting it, and then make the adjustments to the template. And Passer, you weren't here earlier, but I've got this sort of rolled mat that's thinner, which is going to be important for something like thighs, where a little bit of a difference makes a lot of a difference. You got that nice guy internet for a second. Very true, Okami. Very true. It's just been kind of a pain. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to do what I can to get my internet working as best as I can, to get more upload speed, better up, and things, and sometimes it just feels like it's never going to happen. That I'm always going to be doomed to that nice guy internet, or the olden days nice guy internet. Because of course, Mr. Nice Guy has a lot better internet now. It's not perfect, but it definitely has improved. So, Passer, Okami and I have already touched base on how his week has been and what's been going on in his life. How about you? Anything interesting going on for you? I'm sure that there's something interesting, or possibly many interesting things, but anything interesting that you would be interested in sharing is more than appreciated. Just gonna be a nice, relaxed stream this evening. Not gonna freak out or rant about anything, even though I kinda want to a couple of times. Just gonna manage blood pressure. Relax. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you meant, Okami. Don't worry, we're on the same page. Nah, just beating that. Oh! Banhammer! Just beating nice guy at NBA. Yeah, as well you should. I feel really bad. I try to help Mr. Nice Guy out at various internet and internet-related things, and sometimes I feel like I'm never making any headway with his problems. I feel like it's just, it's just kind of lateral steps. I do know that while he's using the particular setup that he is, streaming from the PC with the capture card that I gave him, that he experiences lag, and especially in games like NBA 2K16, well, really in any of the games, that lag is just killer. Just killer. I really need to get a robot in here to start, to throw the banhammer, but I'm not a big fan of the robots, like Nightbot and so on like that. Ran smooth after you helped him yesterday. Oh, really? Good. Good, that pleases me. But I still can't help but feel like I'm just, like it's all just lateral moves. Like I'm never really helping him fix the issues and get things rocking and rolling the way they should be. Which is kind of frustrating for me. I don't want to keep things where they are. I want to help him get things where they need to be, where he wants them to be. He says... But good, I'm glad that after my attempt at helping him last time that we got that sorted. But I think he might have... Didn't he switch over to PS4? Which is kind of like not getting it sorted at all. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be terrible. Oh, man. Definitely off my game tonight, that's for sure. There we go. Okay. Let's move you down here. Okay. So basically, what we're looking at is something like that. Now, you can already tell these bits here are going to overlap, which is fine. On the pattern, I wasn't sure how they needed to go to properly do it. I mean, I could have guessed that they needed to flange out, but instead, I wanted to get them to the just sort of like that, so that I could, so that I could try it like that. Full of our lives. Of the future. Yeah, I know it's a little rough to see, but I'm just gonna kind of try it on real quick. Okay. Okay, as I suspected, needs to be a little bit wider. which we'll have to do in the version that we do. Also, we need to cut that bit, cut this bit, cut that bit. Okay. Oh, Passer, I am not good at this stuff. That's your first mistake is thinking that number one, I'm good, and that number two, comparing yourself to me. If anything, you should be saying, if Mac can do this, well, heck, anyone can do this. And that again is another kind of half the point in me doing this thing and making sure it's recorded and doing it live. Because if I didn't, I'd be a little bit worried about stuff. So I'm going to Waverly Hills State Sanitarium next week. Told me about the haunted house in an old hospital in Utah. Yeah. Hey, Skeleton. I certainly can't blame you. Doctor Who is a good watch. So, anyway, basically, what I think I've learned from this. So, the idea is that the outside of my leg goes down here, and this on the outside of the kneecap. So, if we're looking at it as a sort of what does it look like from the front, it kind of looks like this. It goes high up the side of the thigh, but not too high as to hit the cod piece. Which, speaking of which, let me grab that real quick. Now, a couple things. Indeed, now, your timing was impeccable. Now, a couple things need to happen. For one, the cod piece actually needs to be slightly changed a bit. Currently, as you can see, it's all one piece glued together, and I sort of, step into it. But for it to be as tight as I need it, I'm actually going to need to cut some off of the sides, and I'm going to need to glue one side and then just Velcro the other, so that, number one, it stays up, just fine, but number two, still looks good and protects the important bits. So currently, if you'll notice, I'll turn slightly here. If you'll notice, this piece goes up, and that was by design so that I could make this piece come around and be down here. And there's a little bit of distance there. It's enough distance for me to, move around and do the things that I need. But still be an armored piece. Now, that being said, it fits together pretty well. Ooh, sorry. It all fits together pretty well so far, but still, I do have the fact that we'll need to change a couple of items. For one, as I try this on my leg, when I turn my leg to either side, I know already that I need to cut the back a little bit farther in. The front is fine, but the back needs to be cut in more, which is fine. I'll probably wind up doing something a little bit like this. And we'll cut that in so that I've got better motion right here, in the back, in the sort of actuating portion. Second thing that it teaches me, of course, is that these need to be sort of cut in like so at an angle so that they fit together properly, and that is probably going to be just about right. Sorry, I left my phone's ringtone on. What do we got? Okay, that should be better now. So, anyway, when we have a look at it, I'll just kind of bring my whole leg up here, like so. Like I said, this part needs to be cut in. Side bit, we could stand to bring it in a little bit so that it stays mostly on the side of the leg. So that's what we'll do. We'll bring it in and make that a little bit, you know, a little bit in more, and as a consequence, we can also make this curve a little bit more rounded like so. And what we'll do is we'll try it out, we'll make the cuts, we'll make the edits. Hey Zach, welcome back. Yes, I did get a new phone. It's actually an old phone. It's the Motorola Moto X. Now, this, as you will recall, this is my Moto G, the one that got cracked. And then I got a Moto X. I actually really dislike this song, but that's okay. It's something. So, the Moto X, the same release year and time, it's almost identical, very small differences, camera on the other side, and so on. But yeah, for the most part, very similar, most of the things. But this one, of course, the Moto X, is a little bit more powerful, and it has near-field communication, which was going to be important. But yeah, it's the old one. I got a factory refurbished version, so that I didn't have to, pay for a new Pahone, as it were. I'm just gonna give this X-Acto, this Saber of Exact Zero, a little sharpen. And we're gonna get in here and make those cuts. If you don't like this song, why do you have it on the playlist? Well, Skeleton, I have to admit that the playlist is a little bit slim because I need something that's going to be okay, that people are going to enjoy, but that's not going to trip the YouTube copyright and content ID system. Additionally, there we go. And I mean, there are some other options, but I kinda know that this won't trip it, which is part of why I stick with it. Now, that being said, if you have suggestions for other songs, feel free to let me know about those. Not so much in the comments here, because I'll wind up losing that, but like something like send me a message on Twitch or even on Twitter, and that would be prime, just prime. But I'm using no copyright sounds because the YouTube copyright content ID system. And with that being the case, there's no danger of the video file on getting flagged and then not used or like closed off. You know, sometimes it'll be like this contains copyrighted music and as such is blocked in the following countries. I really don't want that to happen. Here we go. Let's just get that second little bit. Missed Man Cave TV this week. It was a good time. We did it from Mr. Nice Guy's house this time, as opposed from my place, and it went pretty all right. We didn't really have any stream issues to speak of. But yeah, so it was a good time. And we streamed from PS4. It's basically the last time we will likely ever stream from PS4, because now the stuff's good. Well, I'm glad I could say hi and talk, but now you must watch more Doctor Who. Okay, Skeleton. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see ya. And we'll see you next time. Okay, and now let's go ahead and make that. Again, it's so much easier to take too little and then just take off a little bit more than it is to, it's much harder to repair from having taken off too much material. So even though I made that mark where I suspected it should be, to just take about half of that much off, just so that if it turns out to be, if it turns out to be too much, there's no real danger, you know what I mean? There we go. Oh, Passer, you're the one who missed Man Cave TV. Yeah, it's last time from PS4. From now on, it'll be streamed from PC. Ended up doing 100 jumping jacks yesterday. Really? Man, I do feel bad that I didn't make it out for Mr. Nice Guy's 100 jumping jacks. That's pretty intense. Pretty darn intense. 100. Man. Well, but that's what he signed up for. That's what he signed up for. Twitch Weight Loss Challenge. And you know what? I hope it goes really, really well. Okay, that's better, but still not perfect. So I should probably take a little bit more from it. Now, with regards to this, that's actually about right, but you know what? I need more material in general. I told you, Thunder Thighs over here. So, we know a few things about the pattern. We basically need to add about an extra half of an inch the whole way around. But this is how we need the new pattern to be. Actually, and to bring this in a little bit more, which I'm going to do now. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, gonna do that now. Oh yeah? Well, I'm glad that you were able to still catch the 100 jumping jacks, Okami. 'Cause that was, I am certain, it was probably fantastically fun. Now the craft knife, the X-Acto knife, is all right, but this knife just does so much better. Now, true, it does pretty amazing at the straight lines, and it does reasonably well at the curved lines. But yeah, when you're talking about cutting off a large amount of the foam, man, this does the trick. How did I do the helmet? How do you do the helmet? Passer, if you could be a little bit more specific in your question. Do you want to know how the helmet's done in general? Do you want to know a specific aspect of the helmet? I'd be happy to answer. But the question's just a little bit too general for me to give a good solid answer to. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's the sort of thing that we need. Now with regards to this, yeah, we need about an extra inch up here, but down there is actually going to be just fine. And you know what, we could even stand to bring this thing in a little bit on the back, so I'm gonna do that as well. What's the worst that could happen, am I right? Let's only go to about there. And let's cut it here. I can sort of fix this rounded edge later, but this will at least give me a good baseline. Yeah, no, definitely need to take it in, especially if it's going to be centered like so. Okay. This is the one and only time we see Maction with shorts. That's right. Okami's exactly right. I was explaining to him earlier that I don't do shorts. I come from a family of farmers, and even though I'm certainly a city boy, a fact that was brought home to me this week, blisters on my hands. But I do not. I so infrequent shorts, it almost borders on the never. On the short wearing. Okay, so there's my shin, and if this is my thigh armor, we need to make sure that these mesh together properly, and they do pretty well, but not well enough. This needs to be much smaller, and that's something that I figured I would discover during the course of this investigation. Another option is I can cut this down, and you know what? That might actually be the better choice, all things considered. Yeah, that's gonna have to happen. So, I'm not going to mess around with the design at the moment. Either item. But instead, shows how they are. So yeah, Passer, tell me a little bit more, give me a little bit more of an idea of what you mean by how do I do the helmet. Because the helmet is already done. Mostly. Partially. Kinda. Maybe. Sorta. Done. So, I am, however, going to bring this in a bit on each side. I feel sorry about Nice Guy's neck. He was going to do sit-ups on stream, but he said his neck hurts too much. Says hi, and she said sorry she can't make it. Alright. Well, tell her that I say thank you, and it is a honor and a privilege to even be considered, for someone to even consider attending. Yeah, for someone to even consider attending my streams. I find it to be an honor. I am honored by your presence. And yeah, we'll come into there. Yeah, I think that should do. I'll have to call up Mr. Nice Guy and make sure I tell him sorry about his neck as well.
As I wake up every morning, I wish the day would end, because a day without you in my life, I don't know how to mend. And I was like,
Hey, hey, hey. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Hey, hey, hey. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Hey, so Kale. It goes well. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you, man. Are you guys doing Man Cave TV at my house this week? You know, it's still up in the air, very much. It depends on kind of what's going on. We basically decide whether it's at my place or at his place the day of. And yeah. So, not that I'm aware, I think we're planning on doing it at his place this week. Or I should say this upcoming week. but we'll just have to kind of see what happens. You know, throw it up and see what lands, see where it lands, or see what sticks. That's another idiom with that. So we've been having some great success with Retro Gaming Live TV. I'm a little bit sad that I'm not, slated till so much later in the month. Not until this upcoming Thursday. I do think that what I do on Retro Gaming Live TV is going to be very well received, but we'll just kind of have to see what happens and where it goes. My internet is better. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, and this is something I'm going to have to remember. This cut-in is going to be dependent on which leg it is, so I can't make that cut in the pattern. Okay, cool. Yep, enjoy the look at my white legs. Okay. Need to cut it some more. Yeah, I need to cut it a lot more. I'm just going to invert it real quick for checking out on this side. Yeah, definitely need to cut it probably all the way till about there. Yep, that's what I expected. You guys are great. I caught Kame playing Mortal Kombat Legacy. Sweet. Well, what's been very interesting is very big names in the retro community asked to, not to be a part of the group, but to guest star on the thing, which has been really encouraging. For example, the Mexican Runner, also known as TMR, one of the most popular people in the retro gaming community, he's actually requested to do a thing in November 7th. TMR is going to be a guest streamer. Retro Gaming Live. So every so often I'm seeing my stuff go crazy. How long have I been working on the costume? That's a good question. Now I can't help but notice that I'm seeing my OBS tell me that things aren't going so well. So if there are being technical issues, I don't know who's doing what, who's uploading what, and why, and what exactly the impact is being. But I'm seeing it several times go to 0 on the upload, and dropping frames like a beast. Which definitely means it's on my side. Hopefully you guys aren't seeing much in the way of interruptions, but I'm just kind of going to run, I'm good? Because, literally, I am seeing it go to 0 just in the past minute. I've seen it drop to 0. Now it's down to 100 kilobytes per second, tons of dropped frames. Oh well, So I've been working on this costume since basically September, and it's made some good progress. It has made some very good progress about that. I need better internet. That is for certain. Much better internet. Hashtag Mac needs better internet. 'Cause I absolutely do. It's always encouraging when you call an internet service provider and you ask about upload speeds. What's the upload speed we can offer you? Oh, is that upload or download? It's internet speed. Yeah, Mr. Nice Guy and I, when we started looking around for different internet service providers, we certainly had that issue. We both did. Ow. Grabbed a handful of my leg hair right there when I pulled. Not fun. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Still a few more things to be learned, but we need a nice guy project to do. What do you mean, Passer? You mean, do we need to start making a costume for Mr. Nice Guy? Is that what you're suggesting? Because that could be fun. Okay, the angles here are good. This is alright. Yeah, this is alright. This is okay. These are alright. This needs to come out more, and this is good. All of that taken together as a yeah, it does. The leg hair. All of this taken together is pretty alright. So, that being the case, it's time for me to lay it over real quick and make some changes to the pattern. Now, naturally, I can't make the cut. The what's it called? It's the indentation here, because that needs to be kept for because it's not going to be the same thing. Nice Guy should try to make one. Yeah, it does, Okami. It really does. I agree with you. Nice Guy should try and make a costume. That would be fun. Gosh, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, we need to cut this in. Yeah, that should do the trick here. You know, I mean, I'm sure all of you know by now. Here, let me show you this in case you don't. I'll be making that for Mrs. Mac. And sorry, it just cleared the chat here. But yeah, that's what we'll be making for Mrs. Mac. We'll be making the Samus power suit. Not the usual one that people are like familiar with. Not the one with the big old shoulders, because she doesn't like that. But the one with just the normal. So yeah, if you didn't already know, now you do. Now you do. That's what we're working on after we get done with the Mega Man costume. We'll be getting that from Mrs. Mac. She's pretty excited about it. Okay. Oh, yep, this will be perfect. Excellent. Yeah, I think so. I think it will be cool. And I'm pretty excited about it because Mrs. Mac is excited about it. She likes hearing about it. She asks me questions about when I'm gonna get started on it. I have to say, Mrs. Mac, I'm gonna get started on it just as soon as I'm finished with Mega Man. Mega Man takes first priority. Started Mega Man first, and he'll get done first. First one in, first one out. You know, there's an interesting method of inventory accounting called first in, first out. And now you know I've gone full on crazy because I'm talking about accounting methods on stream. But yeah. Yes, the costume is getting a piece of the action. Good story, good use of the name reference. So I hope that I can count on everybody to show up for my stream on Retro Gaming Live TV when I do it. I'm a little worried. Everybody's been drawing such large crowds. I'm a little worried that I'm going to be, that I'm not going to be the weakest link, but that I'm certainly not going to do a very good job. Yeah, gotta know the accounting. It's true. I really enjoyed my accounting courses. They were quite fun. And I know that seems weird to be like, accounting courses were fun. Good. Thank you, Okami. And thanks. I mean, I seriously appreciate everyone's attendance today, of course. But I will say some things, like, for example, on a couple of the streams, we had tons of people, just crazy amounts of people. When we were doing the retro race, I think we had somewhere around like 50 people show, which is just mind-boggling. So, yeah. So we'll just see how mine turns out. Okay, moment of truth. It's time to give this new material a go. Now this stuff is already sort of pre-rolled, as I'm sure you can tell, which is going to make working with it a little more tough than these flat sheets. But we'll just have to do what we can. Okay, pattern over there, this and that there. What was that I said about this being difficult? Yeah, looks like it will be. Okay, so if I do it this way, that'll be a little bit difficult. I know I've got to heat it up and pull it the opposite direction. But this is a much more efficient use of the material, and like I said, I know I'm going to have to bend it the other direction, so I don't especially care too much as long as I keep it more or less flat. So with regards to this, we'll plan on going all the way out to the edge. So let's go ahead and make that mark. Maction, I couldn't sleep because of football and stuff, so it's good you're streaming now. Okay. Well, I'm happy to be of service. Thrilled, as a matter of fact, to be of service. Okay. Let's go all the way to the edge. Yep, all the way to the edge. And now, let me get my ruler in on this. Just give me a nice little guideline.
Look into my eyes and show me your adventures I haven't seen. Taking all the life, it hits the spot. Walking on fantasy.
There we go.
Take me, baby, take me to a state of mind that's made of, baby, that's made of all that we find.
sorry if I'm a little distracted by this. This is a little bit rougher than the normal cutting because of the I don't want to say desire, but basically because of the proclivity. There we go. Of this material to roll up on itself. Okay. I like this song. What's it called? Good question, Okami. I have absolutely no idea. Oh, that's not entirely true. I have some idea of what it's called. Give me a second. Okay. Let's go ahead and fold that up. Let's see. You'll have to forgive the clicking for a second. Which one is it? NCS House 1. Okay, what are we? We're 5 minutes in, so that's probably song 2. Give me a second. Let's see if I can pull up the properties right quick. Okay. Adventures. Adventures is the name of that one by No Copyright Sounds. And now, let's go back to it. There we go. Yep, Adventures. That is the name. Okay, this might be a little unwieldy, but that's okay. We shall manage. Oh man, it cuts through this so much easier. That decreased 3/16 of an inch makes a world of difference in the cutting. You are most welcome, Okami. You are most welcome. Oh, man. Okay, come on. Oh, gosh, Mac. This is really my only chance to get it right. Dang it. Oh man, I mangled that so bad. Gosh. Maybe I can clean it up. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Oh man, that's mangled. I'll have to fix it later with something. So disappointed in myself. Okay, let's get this next piece. Okay.
dreams among the stars while I'm standing on the pavement.
There we go.
Spinning around, lost and found.
Let's get this in
Just
here.
trying to make a statement. Lift the weight off my shoulders and set me free. With the birds in the sky is where I'd like to be. Without gravity to hold us down. Together we're the side of the ground.
My largest concern with this material is that because of the very prominent pattern, it actually has, it actually has sort of dimpling on the inside from the sheet underneath it. My concern, and my largest concern with this, is that that dimpling will remain after my cutting and after all of the work that I put into it, which would thereby make it unsuitable for my plans, because I don't want any sort of pattern dimpled into it. Except the patterning that I myself put on. Well, better than nothing. My arms and shoulders are so sore from that trench digging earlier that I am in rough shape.
Place my dreams among the stars while I'm standing on the
This is really rough on me. But it's got to get done. I'm on a deadline. Halloween's approaching.
lost and found. Just trying to make a statement.
Yes, you have a big truck. You think that you're fast. Blah, 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 blah. That doesn't mean you need to make a statement in front of my house. There's no one around for several miles except for me. I don't need to know that you're big, strong, and dumb. Sorry, I start to get a little negative. Every so often. Yes, darling? Are you tired? Good night, darling. I love you. Let's see, I've been going for... I'll probably finish off, hour 2, and then I'll come join you. The attraction. Feel the attraction. Between us. I do like this one. Silent electricity. Okay. Electricity. Okay, so we're gonna make it a little bit more like that. Except for naturally, we're not going to use that pattern. We're going to make it go a bit more like this. And that will be our thigh armor. That does look pretty cool, I have to admit. So, first, I think I'm just going to... Let's go ahead and roll it like this for a second. Sorta, get it used to the idea of bending this way. Running through like electricity. Give it a little bit massaging. again, we'll need to heat treat it before it stays. Do I know the name of what? This? I think it's Electricity is the name of this song, off the top of my head. Okay. Alright. So, naturally, I know I need to cut underneath it now. But yeah, that's where we want it. That's pretty darn perfect. Now we just need to cut it in. This bodes well. I can probably get both left and right legs done tonight before I go to bed. So let's... Perfect. Okay. It is a little bit different than my earlier one, but... Let's see here. Let's do that. And how far in do we need to cut it? About here-ish. Okay. Now this is one piece where it doesn't really especially matter if we cut too much off of the inside. Bright lights think of me in the days. Yeah. Future Vibes. That's the name of this one, Future Vibes. Nice. Okay. Almost done. There we go. Alright, let's have a look. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, this is coming together. Okay, we'll want to make a little bit of a change there, and this is... So I don't know if you can tell, but this seems a little off. It should be a little bit more like so, you know? But I don't know what's going wrong or where. Man, that... Do I need to do this again, but give, like, an angle? Did I not properly account for angling? Interesting. Well, might be a little early to call it, because basically what's going on, if I put this here... Let's see, let's put it here at 10 and here at 10. Yeah, this is off. Dang it, we're gonna need to redo this. We're going to need to redo it with a different line. Yeah. Redo it with a different line. Dang. That is disappointing. I suppose I could try gluing a... Yeah, let's do that. Let's see how that... I mean... let's see how that goes. Let's see, what kind of a piece do we need? We need a piece a bit like that. Let's do that. Cut that there. And then let's see what it would take. Now, I don't think it would take quite that steep of an angle, so let's not do that. And this is mostly academic pursuit because basically this won't look good if we do something like this. It just won't. It won't look right, it won't look good, it won't look finished or polished or anything like that. But if we can at least figure out the variance, the difference between what we want and how we got there, then we can make sure to fix that in the pattern itself. So let me kind of give this a shot and see what we're looking at here. Okay. Yeah, it just looks off. Something like this, though, is about right. It's not quite right. Well, actually, yeah, it's about right. That is almost exactly right. So that's what we need. We need that change in the angle. But why? Why? Why is it happening? Let me just kind of take a look at this on the other leg. Yeah, no, it would need to be fixed on the other leg as well. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead, let's pull this up. Let's have a look. And let's see. Yeah, youch. Yowza. That's such a huge thing. Well, let's do this. Let's get our little cutout here for the back, and then we'll just know that we need to flip it over and do it from the opposite side to get what needs to be done. Wow. How to fix this? Okay, I could tape an extra piece. But also, what changes is that going to prompt in this? C-Mac, gotta go to sleep. No worries, thanks for coming around, Okami. Much appreciated. Your presence is delightful as always. And we'll see you later. Ooh, and we've got somebody lurking around on YouTube. Welcome, YouTube lurker. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, basically, we need to come up, and we need to come farther with this thing, this inside. Come up higher. Yikes. It's quite a variance. That's an enormous variance. Yeah, that's huge. But, you know what? Let's just try doing that. Let's just try doing that straight over. And that's what we'll have to do. We'll have to just basically tape this angle and just come straight down from there to there. That's how we fix it. Yikes. Yikes. Such a...
From the heat wave stole my emotions. I left my doubts.
Let's see how it looks on the other one.
And every pulse from the tide was a finish line. A wave race we were made to ride. You and I were first in line, and we took them by surprise. I was with you all the time. You may not realize, but I'm here. I hear you loud declare when we get lost in our own.
Very cool.
You'll be keeping me
This is another good one. There are a lot of good ones on these no copyright sounds. Yeah, I might dispense with the whole inside bit entirely. But we'll just have to see. Either way, it'll make... Yeah, let's go for that. So much guesswork. So much time.
Step out from among those crowds. Let the feeling of realization in that I'm here. I hear you loud and clear. When we get lost in our own minds, you'll be keeping me near.
Yeah, and we just need to go from A to B. Yeah, basically. Straight from A to B. But if we go all the way to the edges, that's good and gives us enough distance. And then we just go there. We'll still do this, and then we'll just do that. That is interesting. Sehr interessant. You'll be keeping me near. You know, honestly, I am pretty tired, and this is some very valuable information. I'm thinking I might just call it a night, especially because Mrs. Mac has already gone to bed. I might just call it a night and give this a go tomorrow with some fresh eyes. But basically, what we've learned is that this material will be really good for the thighs. We'll need to use the heat gun to shape it properly, and we will also need to change this angle, because basically what's happening is a combination of the backsides meeting, wrapping around your thigh, throws off the angle, and when they meet up back at the opposite side, it winds up being off and making just this bad sort of... Yeah, as a matter of fact, you can see it right here. If I hold this, you know, just sort of flush with how it's supposed to be, you can see that it's angled up, which is absolutely baffling to me because I could have sworn that I got that angle right. But no, not even in the slightest bit. It's fine on the one side, you know, on this one side, it being sloped in the back wouldn't have made a difference at all, but here on the front, it makes a huge amount of difference, and it winds up being something along the neighborhood of... Hang on, let me check it. Let me check this real quick. What it winds up being is it winds up being, basically... about 20 degrees. 20 degrees off. So, you know, if we just put that here and look at it, straight on, 60 degrees. Okay, maybe more like 15 degrees off of 30. Actually, we can compare it using the difference between 45 and 30. Yeah, it's roughly 15 degrees. If you, this thing does have a cool, sort of, these lines here. They're 30, 45, and 60 degrees, but yeah, the difference does turn out to be just about just about 15 degrees, which is just baffling. I thought that I had done, but this is one of the reasons why you do a practice piece, and then you do another piece, and then you find out that you've completely messed it up. It's something that strikes us all. I mean, I've seen, who was it? Evil FX. You know, Dave, I've seen him do some just, well, you know, run into some issues during the course of his making stuff on stream. So, but I have learned quite a bit from watching Evil FX. And other people. But yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got in me for tonight. But to be fair, I have had a very full last couple of days, so I hope you'll forgive me. We'll come back to it. We've got a lot more of this rolled mat to work with, and this will be useful not just... Oh, you know what? I know that I can't use this, but you know where I could use it, where it could be useful, is around my bicep. And you know what? It's not too large to be used around my bicep. That's exactly what we'll do with this. We'll save this piece and we'll wind up using it to wrap around my bicep for the costume. So, you know, definitely not a total loss. Additionally, any of this sort of stuff that we don't use, we can use also on other pieces for the armor. So anyway, thank you very much for coming around. I hope that you've had a good time. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself at least as much as I have. So take care. Good night, everybody who watched. To everybody who's watching on YouTube, thank you kindly for watching. Everyone on Twitch, likewise, thank you for watching. And everybody who's watching this video after it's all done, thanks. I hope that this has been informative. Feel free to leave comments, like, subscribe. You know the gist. But just yeah. Thanks for coming around. Thanks for making this an enjoyable evening.